Hi, and welcome to a brief tutorial on how to change the city that can produce engineers. We want to change the engineer in the game so that it can no longer be built in the factory, but instead be built in the palace, the church, and the shield city. To do this, we're going to be utilizing the new modding system introduced in 1.5 in order to organize and implement our mod. So the root directory of Emperor of the Fading Suns is C program files, GA Galaxy, games, Emperor of the Fading Suns. See here, usually before you'd have to copy this folder into a second folder and mod everything that way, but now you don't have to. Now you can simply go in here, place whatever you want inside this folder, and then you're good to go, as long as you define and follow the guidelines that is within this file here. And we can see, place your mods into this directory and update mod.ini. And don't forget to set the mods on parameter to 1. So we're going to be doing that. Go back and we'll find mod.ini. Where is mod.ini? I'm a blind man, so here we go. We're going to be editing this with Notepad. So here you can see I have already modified this a bit, so it might look slightly dissimilar to yours, but the elements are the same. We're going to be enabling mods, and we're going to be removing the semicolon from one of these areas in order to remove the comment behavior. So we're going to be utilizing the comment for description, engineer restriction mod, and we're going to be removing the semicolon and put in engineer restriction. So we'll copy this name so we are sure that the name is correct. And then inside the mod folder, we're going to be creating a new folder and rename it to the corresponding element inside the mods, the mod.ini. So now we're ready with the infrastructure we need. Now we want to find our DAT file that we want to modify. All units are defined by the UNIT.DAT file located in the DAT folder. We also want to have a look at the STRBUILD.DAT because this is the reference we will use to find out what city is given what number or index in the game. So we will open STRBuild, and then we can see it has the cities down here. And we will copy the unit.dat and use it as a base for our mod. So we'll go back into our engineer restriction. And because we want the exact same layout as the base game, we need to create the DAT folder. And inside the DAT folder, we can put the files we want to change. Remember that if you are missing files inside here, it will pull them from the vanilla game. So you do not have to change things in here that is already present. So now we will open unit.dat, and inside our text editor, we want to search for the engineer. So if I put it down up here, and then we search for engineer. Okay, so we found the kind description of the engineer, slot 53 or index. And now we're at the correct one. So then we want to scroll over till we find our correct column. And you can see there are certain columns or comments, I mean, dispersed throughout the text file that tells us what a column does. So we have our name, our nickname, our move type. We are not interested in any of those. We are going to find the BLDGS slot, or rather column. This one helps us find out where a unit is built. We have, for instance, if I scroll up a bit, we have -1, which says that a unit cannot be built anywhere. 13, which is one of the cities. I don't know which one it is at the moment. And 99, which means it can be built everywhere. So our engineer is the one that is buildable everywhere. And we want to change this to be the palace. If I go inside the STRBUILD, scroll down a bit, and each of these cities are actually corresponding to their order of appearance. So palace is 0, church is 1, monastery is 2, and shield is 17. Of course, we don't want to actually modify this, so we'll just have to remember 0, 1, and 17. We'll go back inside our UNIT.DAT and we'll change this to 0. So now the engineer is buildable inside our palace only. But how do we then say that it can only be buildable in a few other cities as well? Well, we do that by copying the line. So you can see here there are certain indexes, namely 54 with Special Forces and Cybercore, that has 2 units inside the same unit index slot. So we're going to be copying this entire line, pasting it, and we can see that the name is the same and everything is the same because we copied the line here, and the game handles that just fine. Except for one thing, and that is the last column. The game draws from a binary file, from a bin file, that shifts the drawn graphic for the unit 1 slot down for each time this is input into the value. So the game reacts to this icon, or this, I can't speak today, this value, which means it will not shift 1 down. So it will use the same engineer graphic. We'll go back and find 99, which is the buildings. There's also the owner, but we're not interested in that. And we'll input 1 and 17. And now the UNIT.DAT is as we want it to be, sort of. There we go. Cool. So we have changed mod.ini, we have looked at STRBUILD, and we have copied and implemented the UNIT.DAT as a mod, which we have referenced in the mod.ini. Now we'll go back to our root folder, and we will simply be running the executable.
House Lee Halan.
Okay, so here we can see that we can't find the engineer. Can't find the engineer in the lab either, but the church should have it. Nice. The shield should have it. Nice. And the palace should have it. We have now implemented the mod successfully. I hope some of this was informative for you, and I wish you a very nice day.